Okay, welcome to Lobo Den Podcast. This is the first episode back in the studio. We're at the Lincoln Lodge. Christine is over here, put this together. I was here when she was painting it. We got the studio. We got Ken Flores. We talk about my dad smoking crystal, him smoking crystal in Van Nuys, getting rock hard. We talk a little bit of a comedy beefs. Okay, Lobo Den. Okay, welcome to the Lobo Den Podcast. This is your host, Giovanni Diaz. I'm back. Right now, we're in the Lincoln Lodge studio. My James Webb studio was shut down by Lori Lightfoot. They they got raided, and she swatted in. He was doing too much comedy, so she had to come in. And you know how Lori is. And today we have Ken Flores. What's up, Ken?
Yo, what up, man?
What's up? What's up?
Me.
Oh, I have notes here, and then I just spilled a little bit of coffee. Hold on. I'm taking. This is ridiculous. Shirts. Oh, I need the shirt for the thing. You got napkins or something?
Yeah. Do you want to start from the top?
Mm-hmm. No, we could stop. We don't have to stop here. I just need like some napkins. And I'm going to hold this up here. But I had a sponsor. What was the sponsor? Oh, this is Ronnie Ray, dude. How you been, Ken? How you been,
I've
Ken?
been good, man. I've been good since the last time I was on here, man.
Oh, perfect. Here's a sponsor. Today our episode is sponsored by something called, have you heard of crystal meth? Christine, have you called of crystal meth? So it is sponsored by Crystal Meth. Here we go. And the reason I say that is if you listeners have been listening to the current episodes, there was an episode where I make fun of my father and I call him a CSS. Do you guys know what a CSS is? Anybody know what that is? It's a crystal smoking spick, guys. A crystal smoking spick. I guess my dad started smoking crystal apparently in Mexico because I saw my stepmom post about it. And that's the word around the block because apparently it's cheaper than cocaine. So today, like I said, we're good. Today's podcast episode is sponsored by Crystal. What's up, Ken? How you been? How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Last time I was on here, man, I was fresh off an overdose, so I've been doing a lot better.
I know. I asked you if you're clean because I got a cold Modelo. It's not cold. I got a Modelo that's been sitting in my garage for you. And you know what else? If you want, weed is legal in Illinois, right? If you want weed, I have some weed here that James Webb gave me maybe 6 months ago.
Oh, nice.
It's been sitting in here because this has been in my garage. But speaking of my dad and Crystal, we didn't get to do it on the last podcast, but on your podcast, he has a podcast talking my shit. I was on episode, I think, 104.
I believe so.
No, I was 104. You were 104 of mine, and I think I'm 109 on yours or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But you had a story with, what happened? Did Crystal, sound like a radio guy right now, like fucking man cow. But no, you were in L.A., there was Crystal, there was a hooker. We heard it on yours, but we didn't get to do it on the last one. The last one is right after we told the story how you OD'd, basically.
Yeah. I had overdosed on some strong-ass coke, but... Yeah, no, I didn't do crystal meth on purpose. You know, you're talking about crystal meth right now with your dad. I've only done.
He's doing it on purpose.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I kind of.
He's in Mexico.
I didn't do it on purpose, but after I knew it was crystal, I still kept doing that shit. You feel me? Like, so
because of a female.
I guess I kind of did. No, not really. Well, this is how it happened. See, so I frequent LA a lot, not because of show business or anything. I just got family out there, so I love going out there, hanging out with my uncles and all that shit. And my
repping the LA hat today.
Exactly. Yeah, my uncles are big drinkers and shit, so they're always drinking.
Mexicans that drink, I don't believe it.
Big drinkers, and when I was out there hanging out with my uncle, we were drinking in his front porch, you know, just LA shit, and we having a 24-pack of Modelo, and we kind of get to like the end of it, you know, and I was telling my uncle, well, we start playing music, you know, we start playing corridos, like Mexican music, and you know, they're always talking about cocaine in the music and shit. So there's a few times where we played this song. The song was, I think it was called Soy Michoacano, probably by Los Originales de San Juan, maybe.
Quick question before we get it. Do you like Chalino Sanchez?
I don't play his music. You feel me? Like I respect it and everything.
Off camera producer who's not here. Do you fuck with Chalino? Do you like Chalino? Okay, we'll get back to him. I have questions about him. All right, so you're listening to some Narcocorridos. Did he start the Narcocorridos? Is that true? Are they doing it before him?
I think he was, right? Like the originator of like...
Because they weren't really talking about stuff like that before, right?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he had like the album with the gun and the cover and everything, you know?
Yeah, and he got shot.
Yeah.
All right, continue. Sorry.
No, you're good. So anyway, you know, these songs get to those parts, you know, and I'm kind of making eye contact with him. I'm trying to like like I'm trying to like hit him with the coke telekinesis. Like, hey man, you got some? Like, let me get some. And then he's looking at me, and every time they bring up coke in the song, he's like he's like he looks at me, and then finally he's like, so what? I was like, what's up? He's like, le metes or what? Like, he's like, you do that shit or what? And I didn't know how to answer because he's my mom's brother, So I was like, I don't want
it's that weird like
right,
this is my family.
Yeah, I don't want to say yes, and
but I want to do coke. So
right. Yeah, you're
fuck
ready.
My family.
You're ready to risk it all.
Ready to risk it all. Yeah.
Ready to risk the relationship with your uncle and your mom. You feel me? And I was like, I looked at him. I was like, you know what?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, man, I do, man. And he's like, all right. He's like, you want some? I was like, yeah. He's like, I got some right here. And then he pulls out a little black, like a little black bag or whatever. Like usually, I'm used to
black.
seeing it. Yeah, I'm used to seeing it like see-through.
Was it see-through?
Clear? No, it was just black, like like the corner of a grocery, like like a liquor store bag.
So they cut off the end, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like the little plastic with the little Ziploc in black. It wasn't like some fancy. All right.
It was just like, he tore off a grocery bag, and
I hate when drug dealers do that. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, get the bags,
dude. I used to be cool. I
Allegedly,
used to be cool with this one guy, and he'd be trapping out his crib. We'd be kicking it, and he used to have like how mattresses come with like a big plastic around them. Mm-hmm. Every time he had to serve somebody, he'll just go rip a piece of that plastic off and bag it up. And he literally had like half the mattress plastic already like torn up. And he just been serving. Like, fuck buying Ziploc bags. Like, I'm using this shit.
Dude, get it together. At least, man, use the like. I don't feel bad about the girl. Well, there was a girl, but she would do that. The grocery bag, and you cut off the end, and it always pissed me off because it's like, look, it wasn't me. Or let's say my friend was going over there. It's like, look, I'm getting like fucking $1,000 worth of stuff here. Yeah. So like, can you at least not put it in this grocery bag? Like, I'm riding dirty with this.
Etiquette. Yeah, I hear you. But anyway, so anyway, he gives me some of his coke. I go do it in the bathroom, and it's whatever, just some trash coke. I ain't gonna lie, it's what a Mexican
stepped
coke.
on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like he's my uncle's he's an alcoholic, so he probably gets served like the shittiest coke, and they
He'll
know
take
it. He'll take it. You feel me? And I'm pretty sure he getting fronted, so it's like whatever.
Oh,
and so anyway, so he ends up
when people get fronted, that's when they're gonna pay you up front. Let's say if you're a drug dealer, allegedly, you give them the shittiest because A, they're fronting, and A, they're going to come back for more on the drag. So you give them the most cut-ups or the end of the bag, which it's like powder. It's not as much of a rock, allegedly. Yeah. I don't know. I've seen this in movies. I have no idea by personal experience.
So he ends up giving me a little bit, we killed that. And he's like, you want me to get you some? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, how much you want? And I was going to be there for like a 3-day weekend. So I was like, well, fuck it, let me get an 8-ball. I was like, how much is it? He's like, it's like $120. It's so cheap.
Super cheap. Yeah. Up here, it's like $300. Wait, where's my camera? Am I looking over here? Okay, how do you know where I'm looking? So it's like it's between $260 to $3 something up here. Is that still the same price?
Yeah, I think $250 average. Okay, but it used to be like $180. You feel me?
I remember that.
Inflation is a bitch.
I know. Like, what's up, Biden?
But,
give us some coke. Give it to your damn son.
But anyway, so he ends up. He hands like 120. So I give this guy, I think I gave him like 150.
That's cheap. I'm just thinking about 120 for a ball. That is cheap.
I was like, take the 150, keep the change, and just give me the ball, Mm-hmm. And then he's like, cool. So he ends up leaving, right? Doesn't come back like all day. Finally comes back like at the end of the day, and I was like, bro, this dude's gonna fucking short me. Like this shit, I was gonna suck, right? So he gives me the bag, and it's in a black bag, but I can feel it right as soon as he gave it to me. I was like, oh yeah, this shit is. I can feel it. It's not short.
This is 3.5 grams.
Yeah. So I end up. We're already drunk at that time, I should say too. So I end up like as soon as I grab it, I go to the bathroom.
What are you guys drinking?
Modelos, bro.
Modelos. Oh yeah.
Modelos. So we're just. I go to the bathroom. I'm breaking this shit down. This shit hard as fuck, I was like, damn, there's some re-rock, And I was like, whatever, At this point, I'm fucked up. LA, whatever. I put
re-rock is you get powder and then you heat it back up and then you cut it again and it comes out harder than it was before. Because when you sell coke, I'm just for the non-coke people, like you get. The best stuff is that golden buttery one that kind of melts and it has a little bit of a gold hue to it. Like that came through a few times. I don't remember. I was like, it was worth the fuck. It was beautiful. I don't do that stuff anymore. I never did it.
That shit that feel like baby powder.
Oh my god! And then the other one that's softer, and then there's one that's decent. It's a little bit hard, but people want the rock. You know what I mean? So sometimes drug dealers will give you this re-rock where it's hard, but it's too hard. And it's like Ajax, and it's trash.
It's
you hear that, Angel? You fucking asshole. But all right.
Anyway, so I go to the bathroom, right, and I do a bump off this shit. As soon as I do my first bump, like my whole left side of my brain starts hurting, right side of my brain starts hurting, and it just hurts my face really bad, you know. So I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, well, let me try the other nostril. Maybe something's wrong with this nostril. You feel me? Like, obviously not the coke. So I ended up doing another one. Now the other side of my brain hurts. Now, like, I feel like somebody just punched me in my, you know, when you get punched in the fucking nose, like your whole eyes just get watery, and like, it was like that, bro. Like, I got a brain freeze almost. And I was like, what the fuck is this, right? So I end up, I'm looking at the coke, you know, but I mean, it's white powder. It was looking a little shiny, but I mean, I was like, what's fucking, you feel me? It's still coke, you know? So I end up going up to my uncle, right? And he's like, hey, what was it? You like it or what, you know? I was like, yeah, it's all right, man. I was like, but why does it, like, I was like, what is it? Like, there's something in there, and it kind of hurts my nose, and then it hurts. He's like, oh, well, it's krikri, bro, it's krikri. And I was like, yeah, I was like, what the fuck is krikri? Like, I never heard that here in Chicago, not in no songs, no Mexican songs, not no rap music. Like, I never heard that phrase krikri before. So I was like, what the fuck is that, you know? He's like, well, it's because like, it's cristal, you know? So I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's crystal. And I was like, why the fuck did you give me crystal? Like, I gave you coke money for coke. And he's like, well, you know, it's like, you know, sometimes he doesn't have any, so I just take whatever he has.
Well, I ain't you.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like, hell no, right?
Drunk.
I just paid $150 for fucking crystal meth. I got $150 worth of crystal meth. By the way, crystal is cheaper, so $150 worth of crystal is a lot of fucking crystal meth.
Yeah,
so I was like,
my dad's doing crystal.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck.
Shout out Lobo.
So I was telling him, I was like, well, I don't want, you know, I was like, I don't want this, you know. And he's like, well, I mean, either me, you gonna snort it, or I'm gonna snort it, but we're not gonna get you your money back. Like, you're fucked. So I was like, fuck. I was like, well, I can either yeah, right. I was like, I got a 3-day weekend. I can either not do the crystal, or I could fuck off, you know. I could do the crystal, and I was looking it up, you know. I'm literally like on Google, like, crystal meth, like, how does it feel? And they're like, basically, it's like 10 times what coke feels like, you know. I was like, well, that's probably fucking good. You feel me?
Have the price?
Yeah, I was like, it hurts in the face. It hurts when you do it, but I was still getting like wired, you know. So I was like, well, that's what I want anyway, right? I was
this is what happened in the last podcast we did. You started telling me this, and then the back of my head, out in the back, I was like, man, I really want to do crystal. Like, during the episode we did, I was thinking, because I used to allegedly do stuff, and then you get that itch, man, when you were saying it, and it's like, wait, half the price, double, wired? And I was like, just hearing you talk about it, it's like, when somebody talks about a good, like, juicy sandwich or something.
That's why it's a fucking gateway drug, you know. That's how people start with coke, and then they go to crack or crystal, because it's like, well, I'm not going to spend.
Crack's not that bad, I think. I don't know if you ever done crack.
I beg to differ, but
have you done crack allegedly?
I mean, I've never done crack willingly, but I'm sure I've bought coke with crack in it. You feel me? Like,
but crack is just coke, and it's cooked with baking powder, and it's basically, since you can't freebase it, cocaine you can't just smoke. You have to like heat it at a certain temperature, and you remove the base or something. I forgot.
Yeah.
And then crack already does that, so it's whatever amount of good. You got to get good coke. Like when you used to buy coke, I don't know if people buy coke, but people who buy coke, they would go to drug dealers and they get larger amounts, and the drug dealers would push. Be like, oh man, I got that shit that's cookable. I got that shit that's cookable. That's mean it's pure enough where you can make crack out of it, right? So you're either selling it to your distributors. This guy is selling it to rich white people who want good shit. This Mexican dude wants that because he could cook it and make crack out of it and make like double his money from it. Yeah. But from Dr. Carl Hart, he was on Rogan, so I don't know if it's true information. He talked about, I was listening to his episode, he's like, crack isn't that different. I was like, it's not. And I've said this on a podcast. I've never done crack, right? But allegedly one time this Italian Mexican dude showed me how to do a foilie. You do a foilie, you put whatever shitty coke you have on a piece of foil, you heat it up, and it separates something from it, and then you heat it up and you get like a straw or something, and you smoke it, and it looks like you're smoking crystal or crack. It looks pretty bad, especially
that's freebasing.
Yeah, freebasing. Your friend's taking a picture in the corner, saying to your friends, like, "Oh, Joanne's a crackhead now." Allegedly, it wasn't me. But what I liked about it, or my cousin did it. My cousin liked about it. Wink, wink. It was like it only lasted about 30 minutes. Don't do crack actually, because my friend's uncle was a crackhead for like 20 years. He went to prison because his friend killed somebody. He took the rap for it. His brother did, actually. It's
that
a whole
don't sound
thing.
like you got anything to do with crack. Goddamn, that sounds like some other shit.
But once he got in there, he started smoking crack, and he's been poking. I saw him yesterday, actually. He just had a grandkid at a family party. I want to get him on the podcast, but James is like, man, I don't know about him just cracking around all my equipment. I was like, all right, respect. Yeah. But look, he is...
That's probably how she feels right now having me in here. Goddamn.
No, are you Hispanic, Christine Ferreira? No? Okay. I thought maybe she's Cuban. But look, so then he told me, he's like, don't ever smoke crack. He was like, I did it. He's like, he told me it's like sex. I don't believe him necessarily. I think he would have become addicted to whatever it is because that's what Carl Hart says. I'm not saying he's right, but I looked it up. It's not that much different. You know what I mean? And if like some people are out of control with coke, and I was never like that. And I did the foily, and it only lasted about 30 minutes. And the reason I did it is because I had to work on stuff. And I had to wake up early, but I didn't want to do coke, or my character didn't want to do coke. And the story I'm telling, I didn't want to do coke because I was like, man, I got to wake up early and I won't be able to sleep. And I don't want to drink coffee. But when I discovered that foil, like, man, this only lasts about 30 minutes. It's like, this is quick. Remember, I can still go to bed, and I wasn't tired. So that was my reasoning for me allegedly. But that wasn't actually crack. It was a foily, but it was close. And I was like, this doesn't seem too bad. So I've always wanted to do crack. And my girlfriend knows I still want to because I don't know why. I want people, if they ask me, like, Giovanni, you ever do crack? I want to be like, yes. But I won't do it.
I think it has a lot to, like you talking about, it's not that different. It has a lot to do, like, I don't, not to get political and shit, but you know how they say, like in the white neighborhoods or in the suburbs, like cocaine is the drug, and then like in the hood is like crack, you know, and crack has a really
10 times a felony. Like, if you, I don't know if it's still, the laws are still like that, but it's like 10 times.
It's like way worse, you know, but it's the same shit. And then crack is usually like predominantly in the hood, you know, so it's kind of fucked up, I guess, if you look at it like that. But nobody wants to say, oh yeah, like I do crack, right? But you can tell, so, yeah, some motherfucker, they do coke, like, oh yeah, I love coke. It's the same fucking shit.
Give me cocaine, right. Give me a line of
right.
Cocaine.
So we're all pieces of shit, is what I'm trying to get at. But now, as far as like, anyway, so I started doing the crystal meth, right? So I'm in LA now. I'm doing crystal meth. By the way, this shit, again, it is that time stronger. So my uncle, like, he was already, like, he had already done his crystal. He drank his beer. At this point, it's like 3, 4 in the morning. He knocks out because he has to work at 6 a.m. So he
construction.
Yes,
man, this all construction workers do. They stay up to 3 or 4. They get high. This dude's supposed to go to my house yesterday. He's like, I'm hungover as fuck. He was supposed to go look at my pipes. And the brother of the crackhead, actually. What's up, Mr. Lopez?
Yeah. So, anyway, so yeah, I'm still up because now my uncle's used to this shit, so he could like force himself to sleep or whatever. I've never done this shit, so I'm fucking wired. Like, my eyes are open for once and shit. Like, I'm geeked, bro. Everybody's already asleep, so now I'm just like pacing in my uncle's living room. And my uncle has a small house, so like, this is probably the size of like the living room and kitchen, so it's pretty small. So I'm just like,
it's expensive in LA.
Yes, so I'm just going like in circles and shit, and I'm tweaking out. Next thing I know, like, it's already, the sun is out and shit. Like, it's already like 5:30 in the morning.
That's happened to me with Hustle Man.
Yeah, it's the worst. So I kind of like, I don't know if you ever, I mean, I'm sure. So when you're like geeked as hell, but like you're still tired as shit, like you kind of sometimes doze off for like 30 minutes. Like, you could hear everything, but then you wake up and you realize, like, oh shit, I was passed out for like 30 minutes. So when I woke up, I realized that everybody had already gone to work. Everybody was out of the house. I was like, what the fuck, you know? But I'm still feeling like, ugh, you know?
What time was this?
Now, this is probably like 7 in the morning.
Oh, the birds.
So
yeah,
I missed everything. Like, in that 1 hour where everybody got up, made lunch, everybody left. I was passed out, and then I woke back up. So I was like, damn. And then I was like, well, fuck it, I'm on vacation. Because I was on vacation, right? By the way, I'm not out there for shows or working or anything. I'm just to have fun. So I was like, well, fuck it, you know, what am I have for breakfast? Modelos. So I fucking cracked Modelos open. I started drinking like at 7 in the morning, bro. Just started drinking Modelos. And you know, when you wake up drunk, you drink 2 or 3, you're already fucked up again. You're already back in it. So I was like, well, fuck it, let's go back in the bag, you know? So I started doing more.
Sounds so appealing to me.
Yeah, it's great. Mexican culture is so beautiful, goddamn it. But so I started doing more crystal. This point is like 10 in the morning. By the way, when you're geeked, time goes by so fast. Like, it's already like 10:30. And I'm like, damn, like, now I'm fucking, at this point, bro, I don't know if, you say you've never done crystal?
Not yet. The closest I've done is meth Molly, where you buy Molly, but it was after when it got really popular, and it was Miami, and all that shit was cut with basically methamphetamine.
Yeah, well,
which is basically crystal, right? Meth. Yeah. So I've done meth Molly. I was up all night, and I was like paranoid, and I was like, this is not how Molly feels. Like, dude, I think we got hustled. We got meth Molly.
Yeah. So dude. So I don't know. Well, this crystal, like, It was like if I had taken Viagra, bro. Like, it just, my mind, bro, I just wanted, like, to fuck. Yeah, like, in my head, I'm feeling like there's like EDM music playing in my head and shit. Like, I'm fucking sweating, bro. Like I'm fucking feeling like, I'm like, dude, I need I need to bust a nut right now, right? But I was like, no, I'm sleeping in the couch in the fucking living room. I'm not gonna masturbate right here.
Yeah.
My family fucking watches movies here or whatever. And
You're
I was
watching
like,
Encanto.
right, I'm not gonna go to my cousin's room because my cousin, she's like, if you want to go to sleep in my bed or whatever, you go to sleep in my bed. I'm gonna go to work, whatever. So I try to go in her bed to like try to get some sleep, but she had like baby pictures everywhere. I was like, I can't fucking be here. Fuck that shit.
That's
My
too much,
fucking head
yeah.
is fucked up right now. So I'm like in the living room. So I did some crazy ass shit. So I had a friend he's from my homie from Aurora, where I'm from.
I do it in the car a lot on the way to work.
And he was like he had told me about he had got escorts before, and he had linked
Well,
up
I don't know
with
what that is.
escorts. You know what I'm saying? So he had met up with them at hotels, and he had told me a few stories. There have been like multiple stories, like at least 10 stories, and he never had like a bad experience, right? So I was like, fuck.
I got robbed once.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I
he
had
was
a
just
few.
real lucky, I guess, right? So I ended up.
I went through a lot of escorts back in the day,
okay,
allegedly.
yeah. I think
like,
you make your chances higher once you feel me. Like
think about it. Like, I get a lot of flat tires. I drive a lot. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it fucking happens.
Yeah. So I go on Google, bro, and I don't even know how to type this shit in. So I just put in escorts near me. You feel me? Like if I'm looking for a fucking Starbucks or something, and there's this one page that comes up. Something monkey. I don't know what. Something monkey. I don't know what it was. And I click on it, and then it's like Craigslist. Like it wasn't Backpage, because I never went on Backpage. But there's like a whole bunch of like art, like little links, like, like on Craigslist. It's literally like a Craigslist, but for that.
So and then you can click on it with images too.
Yeah.
You could change it list, and you could change it to images. Yeah.
I
and
know.
it's like list. It's like regular, and then there's like those fancy Asian chick pictures.
Yeah.
And those are fake. Those are cops.
fake,
yeah,
yep.
those are fake or a scam. And then donations and things like that.
Yeah, you gotta go for the ones that look like you gotta look for like spelling mistakes and shit.
Yeah,
That's
you
how I know.
can't look too good, and then you can't look too. Man, you can look too bad depending on how much crystal you do. But it's like there's a sweet spot. Like, all right, this one's real.
Yeah.
This is a cop.
Dude. Yeah, so I start
Allegedly.
texting a whole bunch of numbers, right? And by the way, I already spent like 150 on crystal, so I got a budget. You feel me? So I was like, I got like $100 for some pussy right now. Like that's it. That's my budget. I can't go any higher than that. So I text basically every single link that's on there. I text everybody like, hey, are you available? Hey, I didn't even know how to bro, I sent out like 15 text messages, and when you got iPhone, you don't got contacts, they're all just the numbers down the list. So I start getting texts back like ding ding, like, yes babe, hey but honey, yes I am, or not right now, but but I texted so many people that I don't even know which is which, so I can't put a picture to the face. So now I'm asking,
I hate that.
now I'm asking, I'm like, can you guys send pictures, like please, like I don't want to show up in this fucking guy or something, you feel me? Like I want to at least know which. And then anyway, so there was a few of them did text me pictures, and I was like, all right. So there was one that was like $80, and I was staying in San Fernando Valley. She was living in Van Nuys, so it was only like about 20 minute, 15 minute commute. And so I was like, man. So I hit her up. She's like, yeah, I'm ready right now, right? So I was like, fuck it. At this point, it's like noon, right? Sun is beaming. It's like 120 degrees outside.
You're in the valley. That's a
I'm-
very hot part of LA.
Yes,
It's not
hot
like
as
LA.
shit.
It's hot as shit over there.
Hot as shit. So nobody's home. So I was like, fuck it. And by the way, this whole time I'm doing this, dick is rock hard. You feel me? Like I'm fucking horny as shit. Like I'm some other shit. I'm off crystal meth. You feel me? I'm high as fuck. So I'm not. This is not the type of person I am. This is just in this specific story. So anyway, so I end up getting an Uber to where she was at. She gives me like this apartment address right in Van Nuys. So I get an Uber. As the Uber pulls up, my aunt gets home. And my aunt gets home and she's got groceries, right? So I like I'm still a gentleman even though I'm on crystal fucking meth.
Going to a hooker in Van Nuys.
Right. So I'm helping her with the groceries while my Uber's waiting for me to go see a fucking hooker. So I help her with the groceries and she's like, "Hey, where are you going?" Like, and I was like, "Oh, I have a friend who's in town from Chicago as well, so we're gonna meet up for some coffee, some bullshit, right?" And she's like, "If you want, I can give you a ride so you don't have to pay." And I was like, "Nah, fuck that shit." I was like, "No, don't worry about it. It's already taken care of, right?" So she's like, all right. Everybody thought it was weird because they're like, this motherfucker's never left before by himself. Where the fuck is he going, right? So I ended up getting in the car, bro. Now, at this point, it's more like daytime. Like, I'm starting to see motion, you feel me? Like, I was like, damn, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I realize I'm not in my senses or whatever. I realize I'm fucked up in the head. And we get on the E-way, and I'm like, I'm like having second thoughts, you know. I'm like, oh, but
Are you sobering up a little bit? That's
I think I'm sobering up,
happens,
I'm like getting like cold sweats and shit. But I was like, I'm already in the fucking Uber. Like, there's no going back. Like, this is gonna happen. So we end up jumping. Yeah, we jump out the highway or whatever, and he goes down, like, you know, like I mean, living in Chicago or anywhere, like you know when a neighborhood is getting bad. Like you start getting to like the
MLKs.
Or like graffiti everywhere. And it wasn't like graffiti like here, like in Logan
Boost Mobile Store, bail bonds.
Yeah, like it was like
Church's
real
Chicken.
gang affiliated graffiti. Like people, like the cholos are just posted outside. Like, because you know, cholos seem like a fucking cartoon character when you're like.
They still look the same.
Yeah.
They got the Cortezes, the high socks, the Dickies, the white.
There's
the LA cholos have not changed their look. Dude,
there's no cholos
years.
in Chicago. Like there's like
No.
most Chicanos are like me or you. You feel me? Like it's just, you know, product of our environment. But over there, they're really like cholos. Like they're bald, fucking 7X white T-shirt, long
my aunt was
white
a cholo,
socks.
dude. She loves cholos, and they
like
still
tattooed
do.
eyebrows. Like all that shit is real. So I'm looking at these cholos, and I was like, damn, these motherfuckers look funny on TV, but they don't look that funny in person. Like these motherfuckers look scary.
These aren't the homie little characters anymore, dude.
These are motherfuckers that do shit. So I was like, fuck, right? And we end up going to the last street, right? The last street that we're supposed to be on. There's a dead end, and to my right there's a Costco. To the left there's an apartment complex, you know? So we get all the way to the dead end. That's where the address leads us, right? And the guy's like, all right, man, are you from around here? And I was like, nah. And he's like, all right, well, just be careful. And I was like, what? Like, I was like, fuck, you know, and I'm off Christy. Like, this is not something I want to hear. You know, I want to hear, have fun, you know, knock the pussy out. Yeah, I don't know, what the fuck, right? So I'm like, yeah, okay. So I jump out the car, and the guy, he backs out right away and leaves out of there. So now I'm in this dead end.
He's dipping. Like, man, fuck this.
Yeah. Apartments on one side, Costco to the other side. Now, this Costco, it has like like in LA they have those bush fences or whatever. So it's just like it's like a fence, but it's made out of bushes or whatever.
Yeah.
So you have to like you can't just walk into the Costco. I have to walk all the way to the entrance and then get into the parking lot, right? So I end up texting this girl around. I'm like, hey, I'm outside. What apartment letter is it? I don't know which one it is, right? She doesn't get back to me. She's like, and then she texts me finally. She's like, hey, give me like 5 minutes. I just got back from the grocery store. I'm putting some stuff away, right? So I was like, fuck. All right. I'm like, it's my aunt, right? But I was like, fuck. I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, cool. So then now I'm making time, but I don't want to be at the dead end. So I start walking towards the Costco entrance. So as I'm walking towards the Costco entrance, like in LA, there's like a lot of RVs that just park, anywhere, and they live there. Like they live on the fucking residential street. And there was an RV right there, and there was somebody in there because like the air conditioning is running and everything. So there's appliances on, right? And as I'm passing this RV, all the windows are blocked off, and I see this guy just kind of come out of nowhere and get inside the RV. So now in my head, I'm like, fuck, dude, this is like a sting operation. Like these are the fucking feds. They know I'm on crystal meth. They have been tracking me. Like they know I'm about to hook up with this hooker. Like they know everything about me. So I start like panicking, bro. I start panicking. I get to the entrance of the Costco parking lot, and I start walking towards the building. So now I'm starting to say, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not going to do this. Like, I'm out of my mind. I'm just going to go into Costco. I'm going to buy a slice of pizza. I'm going to get an Uber home, and this shit'll be over. And as I'm getting close to the door, bro, I get a fucking another text message. Ding. And I look at my phone, and she's like, hey, I'm ready for you, baby. Come inside. So I was like, oh, shit, you know? So I text her back. I was like, well, what apartment is it? She's like, I'm not in an apartment. I'm in the RV. So then I was like, fuck. Like, in the RV, I just saw a man go in there, you know? So now I'm for sure, I'm sure it's a setup, you know? Like, I'm like, this is a fucking setup.
I'm about to get robbed.
But yeah. So I was like, fuck it, you know? I don't give a shit at this point that I do it. So I start walking back into the street, and now I'm probably from here to, like, the Lincoln Lodge front door, as far from the RV, right? So I was like, I'm not gonna fucking go up to the door. Like, I'm gonna walk past the RV. If somebody comes down and gets me, then I'm gonna go inside. But if not, fuck that. So I start walking next to the RV, you know, and I'm kind of speeding up as I get closer because I kind of don't want to do this anymore. And as I get right in front of the door, it swings open, boom, and it's her from the pictures. She's like, hey, come here. So I was like, fuck.
She's
so
like, help me with the groceries.
Yeah, right. So I was like, fuck. So I end up going inside, right? I go inside. I'm in the living room. TV's on, and she's like, go to the room in the back. So I was like, all right. So I start walking down this little hallway area thing, and then like, bro, like the door was so narrow for the fucking bedroom. My fat ass, I didn't even fit, bro. Like I had to like
Angle.
I had to like squeeze in that motherfucker. I end up getting in there, right, and I look at the bed. The bed is done, but there's a towel over it, like a shower towel, you know. I was like, oh, there's a towel, and she tells me, she's like, hey, take off your clothes and lay on the bed. And I was like, oh, okay, well then let me move this towel. So I go and fucking move the towel, bro. There's just fucking wet spots everywhere, and I could tell it's not like it's like somebody just fucking nutted right there, bro.
Put that towel back.
So like I'm an easily disgusted person. Like I'm a disgusting motherfucker, but like if you gag around me, I'll probably throw up. Like I'm that type of dude. So I start getting like freaked out, right? I start getting real nauseous.
I'm getting nauseous.
I'm
nasty.
I put the towel back.
Pretty gross.
And then she comes back in and she's like, hey, what's going on? Hurry up. Like, take your fucking clothes off. So I was like, all right. So then I start taking my clothes off. At this point, I'm nervous.
Clients,
I feel forced. You feel me? Like, I'm like, shit. And so she's like, lay on the bed. And I was like, fuck. So I laid over that towel, you know, and I just got man cum on my back and shit. And I should mention, by this point where I feel this cum on my back, I'm not even... my shit, my boner, it went away. Like I'm not.
Your dick knows,
like this is not right.
Abort.
Like, yeah, he was like, "Fuck this." So now I'm laying in bed and I can't even like. I'm not even in the mood anymore. And she comes back in the room.
The cum towel didn't turn you on.
Fuck that shit. I think that's what did it. That's what fucked me up. But so now I'm laying there, right? And she comes and lays next to me, starts kissing, whatever, you know, right? Starts whatever, and like it's just not working out, bro. Not working out, and then right, and then finally after some time, like whatever, you know, I ain't gonna lie, we got into it or whatever and everything, and one of the funniest things that I've told this on stage before. When I've only done this story on stage one time, but there was a point where like she was just like, you know, this is not gonna work, like it's fucking like, we've been here for fucking so long, and then she's like, do you want me to just kiss you? And then you fucking do what you got to do. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. So I thought we were going to make out, you know? And I was like, I was kind of looking forward to making out. I was like, maybe this is more of my thing. Bro, this girl, romantic. Right, this girl puts my whole fucking titty in her mouth, bro. Like, I'm fat as shit. So this is like a double D, you feel me? Like, bro, she's like, she grabbed my titty with both hands and just starts.
Oh, she starts sucking your titty?
Starts sucking my titty, bro. Like, I was like, what the So I'm just in an RV getting my titty sucked, bro. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
That's demasculating.
Like, yeah. In my head, I was like, dude, I'm never.
You're not like a mom.
Never doing crystal meth again. Right, I felt like I was breastfeeding her. Like, damn, you have real daddy, mommy issues. God damn it. But dude, yeah, and I ended up getting out of there, and I went back to my uncle's house, and that's kind of like I guess my crystal meth story, man. That's the only time. Yeah, that's the only time I ever did crystal, man, and it fucked me up, man. That cri, don't fuck with that cri, bro. That shit is fucking. Ugh, end up in some dark places, man.
I should hit up my dad, see if he's over there getting his titty. Man, dude, you got your titty sucked.
Yeah.
That's happened before Mike Show go, but like for a little, you know, suck this area. I don't like to say it was a Christian podcast, so I don't like to curse or talk about my nipples getting sucked. But she would go, but it's, I don't know, man. Like, okay, there's things that I think a little bit gross about me. When girls are into it, it kind of grosses me out because I'm a hairy guy. I have a hairy chest. So, like, I remember one time I was with a girl, and then she was touching my chest, and she was like, I love this. And I was just like, oh, man, this is not just... Well, anyways, how have you been? You've been doing a lot of comedy. You're coming up. Man, you gotten so much funnier than... That sounded so bad, like a backhanded compliment. But, no, like, you've really been grinding. Because I remember when you first started, from now, dude, like... You're over there killing it, dude. What you been up to? Comedy?
I put it in work, bro, more than anything. You know what's so funny? You talking about titties and shit. Yesterday, I'm real. Like, I know I talk stories, and this is bold, but obviously at the end of the day, we're telling stories. Mm-hmm. And I'm real body, like, I'm obviously, like, I'm a big guy, so I got a lot of insecurities, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm always wearing, like, try to all black. Nice. Never, you feel me? But anyway, yeah, last night at the Laugh Factory, I did a nasty show at I went on stage at 1:30 in the morning. The girl before me, Tiny Thickemz, shout out Tiny Thickemz, mm-hmm. She was on stage. This is the nasty show or whatever. Mm-hmm. There was a guy in the audience who she kept talking about her titties, right? The comedian, mm-hmm. And then the guy in the audience, he yells at her. He's like, "All right, well, fucking show me." And he asked her to show her titties, and then she's like, "Motherfucker, you better give me some money." This dude pulls out cash from his pocket, bro. I think he throws, I don't know if it was one or a couple hundreds at her. She picks up the hundreds, bro, and flashes her titties, bro. Flashes her titties, crowd's going crazy. And I got to follow this at 1:30 in the morning. I was like, I'm not going to go up there and do fucking, fat jokes. I got to fucking go crazy. So I fucking went on stage, bro. Before I grabbed the mic, I went up to this dude and just pulled my shirt up like this, bro. Had my whole fucking shirt out, and the crowd went fucking nuts, bro. But anyways, I think it's just moments like that. Like, I when I first started comedy, I was doing, like, everything was written. Like, every word I was going to say from the moment I grabbed the mic to the moment I got off stage was going to be on my notebook. Now, I like, my friends always told me, they're like, dude, you're naturally funny. You're naturally funny. You need to be more yourself on stage, because there's times where you're set, like, it'll get rough. You got to adapt, right?
You walk in and there's those shows where nobody's paying attention. This is show. You can't go in there and just recite your set. Yeah. Like, you got to adjust and play and with the room and fuck shit around, because ain't nobody gonna be listening to you. And I've had those shows. I was at a biker bar and I tried, but now I've learned, you go. But the more you experience, and you can adapt and fuck with people and do shit.
And I've been doing that more than anything lately. And this actually happened just recently. I love doing shows with comedians that are funnier than me, because, like, I feel like that's, like, a big motivation, and, like, I learn. Like, every moment that I'm at a show, I try to take notes from everybody to see how I can get better, And not too long ago, probably about 2 months ago now, I did a show, and Fab Monroe, Fab Monroe?
Yeah.
Fab Monroe went on before me, and this is an all Latino room. It's probably about 70, 80 people in there, so it's packed. And I'm like, all right, like, I'm fucking gonna murder, Latino room, like, that's my shit. Like, I've done Mikey O shows and fucking just slaughter shit. So I was like, this is nothing. So they put Fab Monroe on before me. Bro, she went on stage and fucking destroyed. Like, I had never seen anybody destroy that hard. Like it was, like, right up there with, like, a T Murph set, like, just fucking slaughtered the whole fucking crowd, to where I went on stage and ate dicks for 20 minutes straight. Forgot my jokes, was sweating, was nervous. And even that night, bro, like, I felt like a fraud. I was, like, second guessing what I was doing. And I was really, like, sad about it, I was like, fuck, like, what? And then, like, there was something in me that was like, you know what? Like, I need to be her.
I need to get to that level.
I need to get to that level. I need to be able to go on after her and go crazy into her and go fucking, and respect to her. Shout out to Fab Monroe. I'll fucking kill her.
Feed off the energy.
But I was like, I need to be able to adapt and then have them fall in love with me, and then maybe go into my set. And if I can't, then if I got to do other shit, then fuck, I got to do other shit, But I got to be able to murder too. So ever since that night, bro, I just something in me clicked, and she's had me go up on stage with different type of energy, like the energy that's just like, I got fucking, like, tunnel vision. Like, I don't give a shit about
Tiger
anything.
Woods before his white wife.
Yeah, all I care about is fucking murdering, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. Since then, bro, like, shit has been taking off. Like, I've been fucking doing shows left and right and just fucking, like, yeah, bro, like, nonstop laughter. Like, that's what I like, that type of comedy. Like, it's just nonstop laughter. Like, when a comedian goes on stage and they laugh from front to back. I also love watching comedians that do, like, tense setups for punchlines. I like that too. But the type of comedy that I do is I try to be, like, funny front to back, And yeah, man, ever since then, I mean, I've done shows, packed shows here at the Lincoln Lodge. Like, last night I was here at the Lincoln Lodge in the Blue Room, and it was packed. And, man, when you get one of those rooms packed and you get them going, bro, there's no stopping, bro. Like, I had to literally talk louder than the audience was laughing just so I can do my set, or else I wouldn't have had time, But it was fucking, like, I love it. I love it, bro. And then, like, again, doing the whole shit with lifting up my shirt at the Laugh Factory, like, I wouldn't have done that. Like I would have bombed if I wouldn't have went up there and did my set, I would have bombed for sure. So I knew I had to come in with something stronger and harder, And I feel like comedy has given me the confidence that I would never thought I'd have. Like, I don't take off my fucking shirt when I go to the fucking pool, to the wherever, let alone in front of a fucking 250 audience members, you don't
go to the beach with jeans, right? Like my uncle.
No, I don't. but if somebody was to tell me, like, you're gonna take off your shirt in front of 250 people, I would never believe them. But, like, comedy just puts me in the trance where it's like, this is your room, like, you control them. So, like, I don't know, I went up there, and, like, I have that mentality right now. Like, I'm trying to knock shit down left and right. I got an opportunity not too long ago to start producing with Renee at the Laugh Factory.
Oh yeah, the Latinx.
Yeah.
What do you got? Like the last Sunday of the month or something?
Now we're actually the third Friday of the month at 11:30. But But yeah, like that show's giving me
Were
opportunities.
you producing before or no?
Nah, this is the first
No.
monthly show. I'm about to start producing here actually. Next month will be my first show with Gabriel.
Is there a name yet or is that out yet?
He's running the show now. It's called Laugh Now, Cry Later. I don't know if we're gonna maintain the name, but whatever.
People don't know. Laugh. Go back to the Chola culture.
Yeah,
The shirts. Laugh now, cry later. You got the two crying faces in it.
Yeah. Shout out Tiger Theory. Shout out Gabriel Alviso. He's been running the show here for a while, and he offered me a co-producer spot, and I'm ready to just jump on, and I'll take off.
Gabriel got
wherever.
molested, right? By his uncle?
I think he talks about it on stage.
Yeah, I think so. I had him on my list to have him on the podcast. I'll ask him on the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see what happens.
That's crazy. What the fuck?
Let's see what happened with his
Just
steal.
caught me off guard. I was like,
My bad.
Fuck, Doc, I don't fucking know.
I was on the phone. I called one of my buddies, Andre. I was like, man, one time I was looking for. I was like, I want to get some. Like, what Latinos have I not had on? He's like, oh, Gabriel. I was like, yeah. He's like, I think he got molested by his uncle. Yeah. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't like excited he got molested, but it was like
it's a good
stories or something to have on the podcast.
Yeah. You know what?
Let's call your uncle live on Zoom. Let's see what happens.
You know the way I found out about that happened? He was doing a fucking roast. And somebody did a fucking joke on that shit. And the whole room was like, ooh. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, is that true? And they're like, yeah. I was like, holy shit. But yeah, that's my boy. So shout out to Gabriel, man. You feel me?
Yeah, you never molested him. But look, hey, but producing gives you, this is what I liked about producing. It gives you, like, back when I was kind of coming up and I was trying to, like, get in rooms and producers wouldn't put me on, I was like, get angry. It's like, oh, why is this person getting booked, whatever. When I produced, it made sense to me. It was like, oh, I get it now. Like, sometimes there's comics you like, maybe they're not right for the room. And then, like, I understood all this. I was on the other side, so I understood. I was like, oh, this is how this works. And, like, it all makes sense. And it's like you only have so many, or, like, you have, like, the lineups I had were, like, basically the first few shows were all males, and it looked like I just booked males, but there's all these females that I was trying to book that couldn't get on. Like, people don't see, like, all this stuff that happens. Producing is, man, it's hard work. Like, oh my God, I hate it.
Yeah,
like,
I think that
but it's such a good reward when you're done with the show. But before, like, even as James, it was like, man, it's
I think the good thing about producing with someone else, like, for example, Renee. Like, with me, bro, like...
congratulations, Renee. He just had a baby today.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Or yesterday.
I'm not saying that I'm not, like, woke or I'm not, like, that I'm not, I'm not progressive or anything like that. But, like, sometimes, like, like, I didn't grow up, like, into, like that. You feel me? Like, I just fucking, I don't know. I don't even know about shit like that. Like, they, them, and shit like that. You feel me? Like, I'm in drugs and shit like that. Like, I'm on other shit. You feel me? So, like, when I came into the comedy game, I realized that it was, like, it's definitely, like, progressive, and it's educated me a lot, on, like, correct, whether it's terms or, like, the way of thinking, I feel like comedy has made me, like, funny or whatever, but it also has educated and helped me grow up, like, as an adult, and realize, like, oh, like, that's fucking, the way I was thinking was fucking dumb, and well, anyways, the thing with co-producing with somebody is, like, again, like, yeah, like, sometimes I'll try to book all males, and I don't even, not because I hate females, it's just, like, sometimes you got, like, 5 guys in mind or 5 people in mind that you're like, oh, these motherfuckers are hilarious, let me put them on, and then you realize, oh shit, there's no girls, or there's no, whatever, we want to mix up, because we run, the show's called Latinx Out, the Laugh Factory, but we have white people, we have people of all races, we usually our headliners Latino, and me and Renee are Latino, so there will be more Latino shows than, I guess, your average, but yeah, we book everybody, so yeah, like having sometimes two brains in one thing is better.
I won't ask you. Well, I'll bring it up for a second, but you don't have to ask me. Is he still beefing? What's his name? Are they still fighting with each other? It's funny because it's like I like Renee and I like the other person, but he's always been beefing. I won't say the names. If I ever get him on, I wanted to get them on both, but we'll see. I don't know if they're still fighting with each other.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah. You don't have to get in that. You don't have to get in that. You can stay out of that.
That's their thing. I'm cool with both. I talk to both.
That's weird because I'm cool with both, but it's like,
Yeah.
Man, Chicago, there's a different comedy beef every week.
That's another thing I learned too, like politics. Like, I don't do politics. You feel me? Like, if I'm not gonna. Like, if you post something about me on Facebook, I'm going to smack the shit out of you when I see you. There's not going to be a back and forth like, well, you're a bitch, or he didn't book me, or it's because he stole my... Fuck that. Like, if you say anything about me, I'm slapping the dog shit out of you. And that's that. That's why I don't beef with nobody, though. I always am... I try to be nice to everybody. I treat everybody with respect. Nobody will tell you anything negative about me, bro. Like, nobody, because, like, I'm not that type of person, Like, I try to be cool with everybody, and then... Even if I feel like there's somebody like that's in the wrong,
and I feel people know, like, to not mess. with you or me because they kind of know like I'm a nice person, you're a nice person, but they kind of know like we're not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fuck around.
We're not gonna go on Facebook and like it's gonna get real, motherfucker.
Yeah, fuck all that. But yeah, I think some shit happened here, dog, not too long ago.
At Lincoln Lodge?
Yeah, with not Renee, but the other guy and somebody else.
Oh, he did. I just screenshot and sent it to my friend, my comedy friend. With the other one, with the guy who runs Spanglish. Maybe I hate to have, I won't say any names, but maybe I'll have Joey on again and see what he, I don't give a fuck. But have him on and see, because last time I had him on the podcast, we talked about another one of his beefs. Like, he be beefing a little bit.
Right, like we're doing comedy, bro. We're here to make people laugh. How the fuck are y'all beefing? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no money involved, there's no bitches, nothing. You feel me? It's just
I learned this, I did this a long time ago, and I learned a long time ago was like, I was on Facebook, and I would get in Facebook fights, right? And I used to have this friends, and maybe it was political or something, and I always say this. I had this really cool friend, and then I went to his Facebook page. And when we first started, man, we were doing open mics together, and I remember, like, I think it was Junior Sopka. He's like, oh, who's your top whatever up-and-coming comics? And he tagged me, like, Giovanni for sure. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I remember I looked at his Facebook, and he wasn't my friend. He deleted me. And then I was like, man, what am I doing? The only reason I got a Facebook, because I had a Facebook. I deleted it because I got drunk. Got caught up, and the girl I was with at the time, I gave her my iPad, and I gave her my password, or whatever it was called, the little music i1. Went through all my shit, and I was messaging all these girls, and I was like, I ain't got nothing to hide, but I had a lot to hide. I just didn't remember because I was so drunk. So I gave it to her. Then after that, I deleted my Facebook, brought it back just for comedy, and I'm over here, like, fighting with people. Like, this is somebody who can come to a show, and I'm pissing off. So after that, I stay, and then I don't fight. I'll make my comments. It's only if it's going to be funny or promoting the show or I'm being stupid online. Yeah. But otherwise, I don't get in Facebook feeds.
But it's easy to get into some shit, like, especially if you don't know. Like, for example, this happened here last night, too. I did 3 sets last night. I was at the Second City. Mm-hmm. I came here, I did a set, and then I went to Laugh Factory, right? So after my Second City set, I came here, and I was in the green room, and I was talking to another comedian, and she was telling me, she was like, we were talking about shows, you know, and then I was like, yeah, I just got back. I just came in from the Second City. I did the show. And she's like, well, who runs that show? And I told her. Now, I'm not going to drop any names because I don't want, you know, this is just something that happened to me. And I told her who would run the show. And then she's like, oh, well, did you know he's a rapist? And I was like, what? And I was like, no, like, I didn't fucking know that. And she starts telling me, right? And I got this dude, like, on my Instagram stories, like I'm fucking, and she's like, everybody knows. And I was like, well, I don't fucking know. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of times, too, like, people are not, like, I don't give a shit about drama, so I'm not in it, but there's shit, like, that's not drama. That's, like, a real issue if you doing that type of shit. So I would want to know about that type of shit so I don't fucking look stupid working with you or feel like I'm enabling you, you feel me? Like, I don't want anything to do with that shit, you feel me? Like, I don't fuck all that. So anyway, so yeah, I found out about that. So it's kind of like, I realized, like, if me and her wouldn't have had that conversation, then I would have looked bad on some other people, like, oh, look at that motherfucker, he's still working with him, or he can graduate.
He's doing the rapist show.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it's like, I don't, you know, sometimes, I feel like sometimes comedians jump to conclusions thinking that other people are supporting people, but it's just sometimes we don't know, you know, like, I don't know. That was one thing.
I got canceled once. At the pancake place. Where they have the alternative comic people, and they do, what is it called? It's the alternative comics go there, and then it was a while ago. I was supposed to go. They had a competition, and then I told this before, but they have a competition, and it was like 30. It's alternative comedy, which was different, and it was like the Breakfast of Champion, the Breakfast People show. Man, that sounds stupid, but they were. For the first 30 seconds, you couldn't do anything, right? You couldn't say anything, so you had to be funny, and it was brackets. I was going against Bobby Buds. So I went up there, and I had, I didn't know what to do. I was like, I didn't realize, I thought it was going to be just stand-up, and I was like, I didn't know I signed up for this. So then I went, and then I had, like, all these Alex Jones shirts, and I had this pink MAGA hat backwards, and I was going to just take them off every 30 seconds. And this, I forgot, Grace something went up to me, and she tapped me in the back. She was this trans comic, and she started tapping me. She's like, oh, you can't have that here. And I was like, and I had my jacket on to cover everything up. And she's like, you can't wear that hat here. I was like, no, I'm going to go up. I'm doing kind of like a bit thing. She's like, you can't have it. You can't have it. I was like, this is a place I hate. And I was like, look, I'm Mexican. I didn't say this, but I was like, I'm Mexican. My dad got deported. I'm doing something here. I'm trying to do alternative comedy. Leave me alone. And I remember she kind of gave me that push, like when it got physical. She's like, you can't. And I was like, whoa, like. That kind of hood side almost came out, and I was like, all right, I need to leave, because we're fighting right now. And I was like, I'm not holding back. Like, this isn't, like, don't touch me. You know what I mean? So
I think,
then, So then I went, told the producers, like, hey, I got to go. But then I didn't even know about it. She posted the next day. I was pissed because I was like, man, I drove from Chicago. I live in the suburbs. I drove an hour away to do comedy. Now I got to go home. I went to a mic, but I was just so angry that I just drove home. And then I remember, like, I didn't know about it until, like, Amy Blaze told me, like, weeks later. I was at an open mic, and she's like, hey, sorry I haven't booked you for whatever, but in my calendar's at work, I'm having a chance. Let me send you some dates. It wasn't because of that thing. And I was like, what thing? So I guess she put a post about me with my picture. Don't book this guy. He represents hate and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you're right. I'm Mexican. Like, what are you talking about? My dad got deported. Like, leave me alone. And then that was the only time. But I didn't even know about it because I don't get into it. I never responded to it.
But even like that, you feel me? Like if somebody's telling me like, oh, you're gonna do a show with somebody who's conservative or whatever, like I don't give a shit. Like, but the thing is, like, if somebody's a rapist though, that's like a big fucking difference. Like
like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, like a rapist or like conservative is two different things. You feel me? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's some shit that was like, okay, that's like. Yeah, I can see why that motherfucker, you guys wouldn't want people working with that. You feel me? Like, fuck that. But anyway.
I think I know the name.
We can talk about it off mic.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off mic. We'll talk about it off mic. I think Ryan's probably here. Let's start closing up. You got any plugs or any last things?
Is it gonna drop? When's it gonna drop?
This will drop sometime this week because it'll be the first one.
If you are in the suburbs, July 14th, I'm headlining in my hometown of Aurora.
Aurora?
Yeah, I'm doing the Copley Theater for the second time. I sold it out the first time I was there. 190 seats. So we're hoping to be able to do the same thing. I got the homie Luis Arevalo on the show. Jamal
Me and him had a beef for a second.
Oh, yeah.
It's all right. I'm cool with him.
Shout out Luis, man. That's my little homie right there. He sleep on my couch and shit, man. Luis Arevalo. Shout out Jamal Guichon. He's going to be there.
He's been on the podcast.
Deanna Ortiz is going to be there, and then the homies of the Daily Insomnia podcast are actually putting the show together.
Oh, cool. So Jamal and the other Mexican.
Gamal and Ramon.
Ramon,
and anyway, so I'm going to be doing that, but other than that, Latin XL is at the Laugh Factory. July 29th is the next one, 11:30 p.m. We got a crazy lineup, and then August, I don't even know. I think it might be August 6th is going to be our first Lincoln Lodge show here for Laugh Now, Cry Later. Or I don't know if we're going to keep the name, but Saturday 9 p.m., August 6th. All right, so that's pretty much it. If you guys want to follow me, Ken Flores 300. My podcast, Talking My Shit Podcast with Too Skinny. That is my old stage name.
Oh, I was going to talk to you about that, but we ran out of time. I was going to go into the Too Skinny thing, but
I used to go by Too Skinny, and I changed it because people said it wasn't professional, and my bookings have been skyrocketing ever since I did. So probably the best decision I made.
All right, listen to Lobo Den podcast every week, basically, if I can. Out every week at some time. It should be going back to Sunday nights, Mondays, but if I'm a little bit late, it'll be sometime during the week. Follow Lobo Den, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, I guess. Patreon, $3 a month. Subscribe to the Patreon. And again, give a shout out to our sponsor, Crystal Meth, because it's making my dad lose phones in Mexico, so now he can't message me and see pictures of his grandkid. Get your shit together, Dad. And then get Ken Flores, a.k.a. formerly known as Too Skinny, rock hard and lose it right away when he's in the trailer in Van Nuys with a hooker who's sucking on his titties. And shout out to Lobo Den, shout out to Christine for producing this. This is the first podcast we have here at the Lincoln Lodge studio.
What an opening.
Open it up, man.
Opening episode.
Open it up, dude. You got to open it up sometime. All right, Lobo Den.
Lobo Den, Lobo Den, Lobo Den. Lobo Den, Lobo Den, Lobo Den. Lobo Den, Lobo Den, Lobo Den. Lobo Den, Lobo Den, Lobo Den. It's the Lobo Den. Lobo Den. Lobo Den. Lobo Den. It's the Lobo Den. Lobo Den. Lobo Den. Lobo Den. It's the Lobo Den. It's the Lobo Den. Lobo Den. Lobo Den.